welcome back. This is Chale's Legacies podcast again. Trying it out for the second episode. Again, I got Isaiah Matthew Miranda, my brother. We did first podcast about him and his boxing career and his life and what he's doing, how he got into boxing and everything like that. I know there's some things that we need to work on, maybe get a better mic, but that'll come in time. We'll get a mic and
we started from the bottom.
yeah, doing all that. I want to see if this gets some. We got a lot of good feedback. My sister-in-law told me did real good. My uncle, my mom, my friends, Joey, everybody. A lot of people messaging me telling me, hey, you did a good job, man. So we want to keep this going, man. Isaiah's down. He lives in San Antonio. So whenever he's down, we can do as much as we can. Like I said, I got my uncle Jacob. He wants to do his, but he's currently at home. He's gotta go wake up early tomorrow, go to work. And it's kind of late already. So
yeah, man.
what's the day today?
Today is the 17th of July.
July 17th, 2020. First off, man, he let him start off with some news. He had to let go of his dog, man, and that's kind of something that.
Oh, why we gotta start the show all with that? Man.
Man,
I had to. I moved to San Antonio, like Chuck said, so I don't have like a place for her to stay, and a lot of apartments have a lot of restrictions. They don't hold boxers, and it's hard to rent a place too. Like and she's probably gonna do the same thing there. She tears up, like she's starting to dig and all that stuff. So we didn't have a choice. It was either pay to get trained, which was gonna cost like $2,000-3,000, and I'd rather save that money, use it for myself to better myself in something. But
mind you, they just got a newborn baby too.
Yeah, so I don't want to spend that money.
I mean, he's family, man. She's family. Sassy, man. Sassy girl, Sassy. You watching this one of these days? Dad loves you. Uncle loves you.
Well, hopefully, if we get into a house pretty soon, I'm gonna hit up that dude and see if I can get it back. But if not, as long as she's happy and
she's good, okay. He's good. That guy's dead is good guy.
As long as he is,
yeah, he's fine. He's good, man. Like, he's a good family. Anyways, man, today's episode 2, will be about the fight that we just saw yesterday, which was Ryan Garcia
versus Javier Fortuna.
Fortuna. We're gonna give you a little insight and a little, I guess, recap of what we thought and what as former boxers. We never got to the elite level, but we have a dad that went to the elite level, an uncle that went to the elite level. My uncle Jacob's a mastermind when it comes to training. Yeah. I sparred with many great fighters and fought many great fighters along with this guy. So, we want to give you our insight. So, I'm going to ask you questions and we'll answer them. Yeah. So, here we go. And the fight yesterday was the main card. There's a lot of fights, but the main card that we talked about was
Ryan Garcia with Javier Fortuna. It was a good fight.
Let me ask you, what did you think about the fight yesterday, sir?
It was good. Everything that what I expected Ryan to do happened. I knew Ryan is fast. To me, what surprised me was how sharp and crisp he was, throwing his punches. Even there were some shots where he didn't even put his weight in the punches, and you could tell they still had pop. His check hook was on point. I wish he jabbed a little bit more. I felt like maybe he could have got him a little bit earlier if he would have jabbed. Still got him out early, but earlier if he would have used his jab. He's that dude. Javier Fortuna was using a little bit of the Luke Campbell style, trying to land that big left hand, and he had pop. He not caught Ryan, but Ryan blocked a couple shots that if they would have landed, maybe it would have caused him some trouble. But Ryan's pretty good, man. He's a future. He's a superstar. He's got everything right now. So we'll see what happens in the future. Once he fights some big names, right now he's fighting. To me, in my eyes, he fights a lot of stepping stone guys. Not anybody who's there's like the 4 kings, or stuff like that. Like he's not fighting any of those kings or anything like that. So.
What I got out of the fight, I really, to be honest with you, man, I didn't even know who Javier Fortuna was, to be honest with you. I knew Ryan. So like when we were at my uncle's house watching the fight, I said, let me just see how it comes out, because one thing that I know, man, as a boxer, like I said, I never got to that elite level, so I'm not here being hypocritical. But I did fight a lot of good fighters. It was like, you gotta be there mentally, man. You gotta be there, no distractions. You gotta be ready to fight. You gotta, be focused 100%. I know Ryan's getting at that stage where he's starting to get really popular, a lot of girls, a lot of money, a lot of fame. So that's one thing that I was like, man, maybe he's gonna be unfocused. And then along with the whole training thing, different trainers and all that. So I wanted to see how he came out. In the first round, my brother was with me right next to me. I said, Ryan's gonna knock him out to stop him easily, because that job was just so quick, quick.
Yeah.
And what do you do about that, man? It's just crazy how we just boom, hooking it. Confusing it. That dude had no game plan. He couldn't figure out what to do. You know, so
You
hats
gotta,
off,
like,
hats off to Ryan and his team. Is it Joe Goosen or was that Joe Goosen? Joe Goosen and then, man, they did a great job, and I think the future is bright for Ryan Garcia, man. So, like I said, to me, was just based off of the beginning. I could tell right away, oh, this is gonna be a long night for Javier because just the way Ryan came out, man.
Yeah. I know Jacob had said too. My tío Jacob, he had said that Joe Goosen was Ryan's amateur coach and amateur. I didn't even know that. They have history, so obviously Ryan, maybe Joe knows some things that Eddie didn't know. I feel like there's a lot of things going on with the Eddie. They know some camp too. I don't know. We'll get into that too.
Yeah,
but yeah, man, I think Joe's the perfect fit for Ryan. I think that's a good. I think he blends with him, talks to him. I think they have a good relationship, and Ryan looks like he's hungry again. He looks like he's calling out the big names. He wants the biggest name at 135 is other than maybe Devin Haney, but he's calling out Tank, who's knocking everybody out. And he said, if I can't get Tank at 135, give me Teofimo at 140. Yeah. And that's pretty solid, bro. I mean, my opinion.
Man, I gotta respect that. That's what the boxing needs, man.
Yeah. So I don't know. To me, in my opinion, it's you gotta make those fights. We have a lot of fighters at 140, 135 that need to make these fights happen. And hopefully they do 130, 135, 140. So.
I got a total of 6 questions for you, man. Well, questions for us. I'm gonna tell you, and you go ahead and say that. So. Question number 2 is, what do you think is next for Ryan?
I think Ryan, I know he said he don't want to go to 135, and I don't think he necessarily has to go to 135, but I think there's a lot of big fights at 135, and if you could get him at 140, stay at 140. Whatever your weight you feel comfortable at. But I think he needs to fight. I mean, he could unify against Shakur at 135. I mean, no, against Haney at 135. You know, because you got other guys at 135, 140. I don't know if maybe he could fight. I don't know if he should fight Tank right away. I don't want him to fight Tank right away because Tank's, to me, he's one of the biggest problems. Yeah. I feel like he's got a better chance of beating Shakur. I mean, I keep saying Shakur, but beating Haney than he does than Davis. But I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, it's hard because I just feel like those whole guys in the little mix, they need to fight each other. All of them. Like, it doesn't matter who, just fight each other. Like, you guys are all freaking talented. You guys all have. In that area, you guys are all in the top 5, top 3s. Just fight each other, man, and make those fights happen.
I guess my opinion on this, man, would be that I think it's time for him to start stepping it up. Like you said, man, he hit it right on the dot. He needs to step up, start fighting better competition. He's fighting good guys, but we saw he got dropped the other time. And like I said, I heard Luke Campbell. I never really heard of Javier Fortuna. I heard these about the guys you hear out there. Those are the guys you need to start fighting.
Big name fight.
You know, you're young. You know, everybody wants to see those fights. Make it happen, man. We're not guaranteed another year, man. COVID came and shut everything down, and you just never know. So get it while you can. And like I said, man, I was really impressed with him, man. He really impressed me. For me, the next thing he needs to do is probably fight Tank or someone at that level. Man, not Tank necessarily, because like you said, and I'm with you 100%. Tank is a beast.
Yeah.
I mean, that dude is hands down, great, powerful, man. So. Yeah. Let's see what happens next, man.
I would say stay away from Tank for a bit, because Tank for me is probably the strongest 135 pounder, even probably the 140. Even he fought at 147 against Mario, so like, I don't know, Tank's just a beast, man. I think he should stay away from. It's funny, like you say you wanted to see those fights, but I would say stay away from Shakur Stevenson, which I know is a little bit lower weight or whatever. Shakur is just a beast. I think he beats everybody too as well. I think Shakur and Tank would be a massive fight. So that's something I would like to see. But if I was him, maybe why don't you fight George Kambosos? Yeah, he's coming off a L. That's a good fight. He's a name. Fight George Kambosos.
I'm sure George will take that fight.
You know, you can fight Teofimo too at 140. That's a risk, because Teofimo is a strong 140 pounder.
Right? What was Rolly at 40?
I would fight Rolly too. If I was him, you have options, bro. You have Rolly. That's a good one. Rolly. You can even fight Mario Barrios if he wants to fight at 140 again.
Yeah,
you know, make
a
name.
fight guys that are the next.
They're a name, but they're not like guys like Javier Fortuna. You don't even know who that was. Luke Campbell. I didn't know who Luke Campbell was until he fought him. Then they told me who he was. He was undefeated or something. I don't know who he is. But like these guys, you know a little bit. Why not fight them?
Yeah, and they're on the downside now, so you don't want to risk it too much. Then that's perfectly what you're saying. So my next question for you, man, out of the top 4, the dangerous 4, what's your rankings? Out of who wins who?
The best one out of the 135, 140 pounders, I got Shakur Stevenson, man. Shakur Stevenson's style is just hard to beat. It's not that he has power, not that he's super fast. It's just his style is just he's a good boxer, bro. Like he's a boxer. Like he's a good boxer. And I haven't really seen him get caught flush. I haven't seen him get wobbled. I haven't seen him get hurt, seriously injured, nothing. Ryan already been dropped. Tank's been hit. You know, he struggled with Isaac Cruz. Like, he even struggled with Gamboa. Gamboa's on his way out. He finished him, yes, but he still struggled. So there's signs of weakness. And plus, Tank is like 5'4". So, and Shakur's like, what, 5'10"? Maybe, you know, like, I just feel like he poses more of a threat. Devin Haney.
Silver Olympic medalist.
Yeah. Devin Haney's good, but Devin Haney's and Shakur Stevenson, that fight will probably be one of the most boring fights because they both just box. But I feel like Shakur has an edge because Shakur's a little bit bigger, a little bit taller. And Devin Haney's good, but Devin Haney only has like one knockout that they show like 20 times on each replay. And that's it. You know what I mean? Like Shakur's freaking good, man. Like, he's just I think that's the fight to make.
So you have him number one?
I got him number one. I got Shakur number one. Obviously Shakur number one, Tank number two. Haney, even though he's undisputed, I would put him at number three. I think that Tank beats Haney. And then I got Shakur, Tank, Haney, Ryan, and then you could put Teofimo, Gambosas. I'm sorry, you could put Lomachenko. He's up there too. Lomachenko, Teofimo, Gambosas. The list goes on and on.
But your number one and two is gonna
Number
be
one and two, I would say is Shakur and Tank.
My top four. I just mentioned four. I'm gonna go with Ryan, man. I'm gonna go with Ryan because, to me, I think speed, man. Speed. If you can't time, what's boxing about? Boxing more about finding timing. How do you time something so fast?
Timing beats speed, but it's kind of hard.
When he's just got that speed, boom.
Yeah.
And I feel like Javier couldn't figure it out, you know. And then it was just a matter of time for Luke to figure something he couldn't figure it out.
Yeah.
The speed, I think the speed is us seeing it from the outside in is something to deal with, man. And I think he's the fastest out of everybody. And yes, Shakur, man, is a beast. I give you that, man. He's a beast, but I think speed will give him a problem, man. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, when I saw this last fight, he did exactly what you do to a left-hander: jab it, right-handed, hook it, right hand straight down the middle, and hook it. And what is Shakur?
Shakur's
Southpaw. What is Tank? Southpaw. So,
but them guys don't fight like Javier.
Yeah,
you can't compare them.
Yeah, that's the thing is, like, I feel like if they try to, if they hit him like the way Javier did, then they can put him down, they can hurt him.
But I feel like Ryan doesn't have feet work like that.
Yeah.
And that's something that Shakur, you gotta keep in mind. Is Shakur will make you use your feet.
Yeah.
You're gonna chase Shakur. Though. Shakur's not gonna chase you.
Yeah. That's I would have Garcia number one, Shakur number two, Tank number three, and then Haney number four. Because I was pretty bold with Haney, man. But he's a great fighter.
Out of them guys, who would you want to see fight?
I'd love to see. Honestly, man, it's supposed to be Garcia and Shakur, but for action, I think because Tank ain't no pushover, Tank don't run. Shakur, what does he do? This is boxing move.
It's not entertaining.
Yeah, it's not entertaining. Haney's entertaining.
But he wins.
Exactly, bro. But like Mayweather. But me, I would love to see Garcia versus Tank. Because Tank don't back down.
I would rather see that than watch Shakur versus Tank. I feel like Shakur versus Tank is more of a boxing match.
Yeah.
But I feel like an action fight would be Ryan versus
Tank. All four of these guys are real close to each other, man. It's just who's more entertaining. And for me, I ain't gonna lie, man. I have my own opinion. You have your own opinion. This Garcia fight I was like, wow, this dude's fast, man. Like, I was just trying to figure out things. Yeah. So that leads me to my next question. Is there for you, man? What would you have done if you were Javier Fortuna? Like, as his opponent, how do you beat something like that?
I would have faked an eye poke or something like that. It was hard to time it, but I feel like he was.
I mean, put yourself in.
I feel like the way I put myself in Javier Fortuna's shoes. Javier Fortuna should have taken advantage of the fact that Ryan was talking a lot about everybody else besides me. If I was Javier Fortuna before the fight, so I was taking advantage of that. As soon as the fight jumped, I would have jumped on him from the get-go. See if his mind was there. Just to see if his mind was there. I would have pressed the action right away, and Ryan put the action right away. So I would have, he was shooting the left hand as a southpaw. I would have tried to feint more, because I feel like if you feint, you could, because he was throwing a lot of hooks. Ryan threw a lot of hooks. And the second, third, fourth round, he wasn't really throwing any more jabs. He was throwing a lot of hooks. He was trying to throw those hooks. And Javier Fortuna never stepped back. He just stepped forward. And if he didn't step back, he was stepping straight back with his guard up, expecting to get hit, trying to block the shot. So why not do feints? Why not push forward? Why not keep the fight close? There was a I don't know if it was the second or third round, he threw a flurry combination. And I think like one or two landed on Ryan. Other than that, everything else was split. But he was more active. He looked decent. I would have stayed inside. I would have thrown more punches and bunches. I would have feinted because if you're inside, it's hard for Ryan to hit you so fast. Like, yeah, he can hit you, but his punches are a little bit more sharper and tighter inside. So I would get more inside. You're shorter than him. Get lower than him. Drop your butt. Work angles. Feint, and just try to catch him every time you feint. Wait for him to throw a hook and throw it left straight, or even a jab, and just work the body. Get him down. Take him to deep waters. Work him in the late rounds. But that's something maybe I would have done. I don't know, maybe it was the right thing, but that's what I would do.
Maybe something I would have done, man, is like you said, man, like see where his mind's at. But I probably would have put a lot of pressure on him, man. Attacked him from the get-go, walk in and just get in there, get inside, and start breaking the body down. Because if I'm not mistaken, this is like the stuff that I see. And like I said, guys, if you're watching this, we were never. I mean, I turned pro, but then I had some issues going on, and my guy that I was gonna fight, was Corey Randall, he backed out, so I never got to fight pro. But we don't have that experience, but we did fight amateur. We do have we've been around it our whole lives. Yeah. So we kind of know what we're talking about. But, anyway, that's the point. One thing I did notice was that Javier came in at like about 155, 160. They said he blew up to like a middleweight.
Yeah, he came in heavier.
So with that, use that to an advantage and push yourself inside and start pounding that body. Yeah. Make that body, make this kid work, hit him. I feel like he was just trying to rely so much on that left hand, like Luke Campbell, that it took away from him, man.
I feel like he didn't really have a game plan. If you go look at it, he didn't really have a game plan.
Yeah.
The game plan, I think, was he was just going to throw a big left hand and catch Ryan. Yeah. And it's not, you're coming in for a world title fight to make you a superstar. If you would have beat Ryan Garcia, it would have changed his freaking life. Yeah. He'd have been part of that top guys now. So all that work, all the time that you had to go into it, all you threw was big left hands and ball up in a shell. Yeah. Like, that to me, that doesn't, if you're going to go out, at least go out swinging, bro. Yeah. At least put pressure, make it dirty. Push him up, back him, throw him against the ropes. Be dirty in there. Make it rough. Let him know he's in a scrap. If you get knocked out, you get knocked out. But I felt like it was too easy for Ryan. He didn't even put up a fight, bro. Like,
he came out clean and everything.
Yeah, man. Like, I don't know.
But like I said, man, I personally would have put a lot of pressure. I would have, tested his will. It's easier said than done, of course. Yeah, but course. I would have at least tried to get inside of him. I think I think what happened was he put the power, he put the speed.
That's true too.
And he said, "Hey, man, I'm gonna try to catch him slipping, man." But
that's true. You made a good point right there, man. I didn't think of that, but we're saying all this, but we're not feeling the power. Yeah. We're not feeling the power. You know what I mean?
I've been in there with a couple of guys that are pretty fast, they're strong, and it makes you change your game plan. And that's the thing, man, is that you gotta be that good if you're gonna be a champion. From what I see from the outside in, I've never been a champion, but you gotta be able to make adjustments. You gotta make adjustments like that, because just when you start capitalizing on him, then he'll change it up on you. He'll start backing up on you, and then what do? You gotta start doubling your jabs.
That's experience.
Yeah, man, that's what experience is about. And that's why you do the amateurs, then you go to the pros. And that's what boxers do, man. That's just my opinion, his opinion on what we think, and we're just giving our feedback to you guys to see what's going on.
Yeah.
So now on that. So I got two more questions for you, man. What do you think Ryan needs to do to improve? If he needs to improve at all in your eyes.
I would say use a jab, and in my opinion, this is just my opinion. Like I said, I'm not no expert. Use a jab a lot more. You're fast, bro. You're lightning. Like you're lightning in a freaking ring. Use your jab. Your jab sets up everything. Use a jab. The way freaking Tyson Fury uses it, because you're taller than most of these small guys too. Use your jab. Pop it out three or four times. Throw a hook behind it, and then bring them straight right. Just like his trainer teaches him. Use your jab, use your feet work, and I think Ryan fights too tall. Fight a little bit shorter. If you're gonna fight tall, you're fighting at that Klitschko stance, like the Klitschko style. That's fine against short dudes like Tank and Javier Fortuna and all these guys. But once Ryan fights like a guy like Shakur Stevens who's around his height, or any of those guys, Devin Haney or something like that, then they're not gonna be the same style of fights. You can't fight with your chin up in the air, your knees straight. You gotta get if you're gonna do that, you gotta be quick on your feet, bro. Get in and out. Feints. Use your jab, feints, angles. Turn yourself out at an angle. Don't turn straight back with your chin up in the air. That's how you got caught against Ryan. I mean, that's how you got caught against Luke with his chin up in the air, stepping back. Yeah, you throw a loop in and he got caught. And he just pulled straight back. You can't do that. You can't pull back against these pro fighters. Guys like Tank, they're gonna catch you all night, and then sleepy time. You know what I mean? So, I would say keep your guard up. If you're gonna fight tall, but turn your body more sideways. Use your jab a lot more. Feints. And use your feet to step in and out, step back. Even jumping up and down and then feinting, doing that, isn't that causing problems, back and forth, causes problems. They don't know when you're going to come and they don't know when you're going to come. And then you use your speed, boom, 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 boom. And then you turn an angle, get out. Don't pull back at the straight line. That's what I would, if I was Joe Guzman, I would look at that.
My thing for him to improvement, I would say, like you said, man, be more active, start throwing double, triple jabs. But I think about that I know about Ryan, boy. He throws his jab, and he throws every jab with intention.
Yeah.
Boom. You know, and you as an amateur boxer,
Yeah.
like I mean, you when we throw jabs, you throw that. You it's hard for you to throw double. You know what I'm saying? Because you got everything on that first one.
Yeah.
But you know, I get what you're saying, man. I agree with you 100. Another thing I think he needs to improve on, man, is angles. I think his angles need to get a little better because once someone can start figuring them out a little bit, they just put their hands up and try to figure out what's going on. Get someone just as fast as him, you know. Then how you gonna give her different angles, inside, outside, like that boy from San Antonio,
Jesse Bam.
Jesse Bam, man. Like the way he does his angles, different looks, moving around. Don't just stand so, like you said, so tall and straight in the middle. Give me angles in and out, pop, 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 you know, stuff like that. And that's just my opinion, man, on what I think to improve. But you know, like you said, man, because Javier was trying to land that left hand, man. He tried. He got close a couple of times. You know, you blocked him luckily, man. But you know, someone like Tank, my brother was saying like Tank or
because there's already a kink in the armor. Sorry.
Yeah.
There's already a kink in the armor with that overhand left. So that's why he was throwing.
And he called it out too. He said they're trying to get me with that new Campbell, man. So just be careful, man. Like you said, and you know, stay active, man. Keep doing your thing, and all I can say is just be active, man. Be active, and I mean, you won. That's the thing. You won. The main thing is that you won. So.
And I would say too, another thing that I mean, I don't know if Chuck agrees or not, but I would say control your speed. In a sense, like know when to put the 100 mile an hour, know when to throw a 100 mile per hour fastball, and know when to throw, you know, a 95, 94. That my thing is, yeah, you throw your jab, you know, so fast, you shoot your right so fast, you hook so fast, change up the speed a little bit, throw a slower one, throw too slow, and then throw a real fast one and then a hard right, you know, or just change up the speed. If you go to the body, throw it slower and put more juice into it. Or if you throw it up top, those jabs, just make them cool quick. Don't put no power, just quick, pop, pop, pop. And then bring a slow, heavy right hand. I don't know, just different things. You can change up the speed a little bit.
So it's matter of time to start figuring out your speed. And once they do, you gotta go for that dude, man. So, last question I have for you, Isaiah, is: do you think Eddie Reynoso was the problem, or do you think Joe Goosen is just a better trainer? Honest opinion.
I don't think necessarily Eddie Reynoso was a problem. I don't think he was the problem. I think he was not doing his job, in my opinion. Because Ryan Garcia right now, in these last two fights, have you seen him move his waist? Have you seen him move his head? Have you seen him do the things Canelo does in the ring? You know, double jab, overhand right. Like, have you seen him do those kind of things that Eddie Reynoso teaches in the gym? Like, Eddie Reynoso teaches a lot of waist and head movement, a lot of movement, and I have not seen Ryan do that at all. So I don't know if that's Eddie not teaching him or if that's just Ryan not using what he taught him. But Ryan left for a reason. And I feel like Ryan left for a reason. Andy Reese left for a reason. Frank Sanchez left for a reason. These guys are not getting personal one-on-one training that Eddie Reynoso is giving maybe to Canelo. Canelo's his bread and butter. That's his cash cow. That's the man who started it all. And I completely understand. But I don't think Eddie is doing or has done his job just as well as he did with Canelo with all these other guys, and they know.
So you're saying Joe's better, or are you saying that Eddie was just?
I say that Joe. I'm gonna say this: Joe Goosen is a better trainer for Ryan Garcia than Eddie Reynoso is. But that doesn't mean Joe Goosen is a better trainer than Eddie Reynoso.
Overall.
In my opinion, Joe Goosen is a perfect fit for Ryan. He knew us in the amateurs. It's like my brother. He's working with us in the amateurs. If we could turn pro, we're 10-0. I'm with my brother, and then my 11th fight I trained with Eddie Reynoso. He's a world-class trainer, the best trainer. I'm with him for 3-4 fights. I start getting sloppier, I'm just not learning, whatever. And then I leave him and I come back to Chet, I start doing magical. But it's because he's my brother. He knows things that maybe Eddie doesn't know. You know what I mean? He knows little things that I do, little habits I pick up. Or Eddie's not giving me those times. So that's why I say Joe Goosen is a better trainer for Ryan than Eddie is for Ryan. But I still think Eddie Reynoso is a better trainer overall than Joe Goosen.
Yeah, man. Good points. I can't argue with that, man. Once again, guys, this is Chale's Legacy Podcast. My opinion, I gotta speak my opinion. My opinion is I do believe Joe Goosen is a better trainer, man. Only because, like me and my brother have a lot of debate on, you know, we always joke around, but he's a Team Canelo. And like I said the other day, man, Canelo is a beast. He's the best fighter today, man. Like, he is. Yeah. You know, when it comes to all time, you know, I have my opinion, he has his opinion. But lately, I've seen, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but the stats, they speak louder than anything, man. And Oscar Valdez lost, Andy Reese lost, Canelo just lost. So that's something that I think, like, there's a trend going on there, man.
Andy Reese didn't lose.
They got dropped. Because then rematch.
Reese. No, Andy Reese beat Chris Arreola, but he got dropped.
Yeah, no, but I'm sorry. I mean, Oscar Valdez, Canelo. Yeah, well, those two, I guess you say, and Andy left him. What I'm trying to say is,
oh, that little short Mexican dude. You're talking about. Cesar.
Oh yeah. We saw him last week or 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Right? San Antonio got beat by
He got beat by somebody.
yeah.
Oh, I don't know. He beats lots of somebody. Somebody.
I'm just saying, man. He's to me,
Three
Eddie's
guys.
like in a losing trend. The trend's not looking good, man. So what I'm trying to say is there's something going on. Yeah, you're right. But then his favorite, his cream of the crop, the best fighter he has, lost.
Yeah.
Yes, there's a lot of debates that maybe the vegan diet, the maybe not being overconfident. Cause to me, man, and like I said, bro, I never tell you this because I don't mean you have a situation was Canelo should have beat him. Canelo should have beat him. He's the better fighter, and he probably will beat him when he fight again. But something happened. Maybe he was overconfident. Maybe he was.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Why should Canelo have beaten Bivol? And why shouldn't have Bivol beaten Canelo?
Canelo's just a better fighter. Canelo's just a better fighter,
What
but
makes him a better fighter?
he didn't have a good game.
But what makes Canelo a better fighter than Bivol?
Just the way he's active, the power punches, the way his technique, the way he throws them. He's just a better fighter overall. And like I said, but then again too, I never really heard about.
But he does it
Bivol.
at 168.
Yeah, but I've never really heard of Bivol before, man, until that. And people say, not you, but people say, oh, the weight was different. He goes, well, he fought at 75 when he fought Kovalev. So you can't say that it was the weight.
Yeah.
And like I said, overall, man, I truly believe in my heart that the more active fighter was Canelo. He just couldn't figure out how to break that whatever Bivol was doing. Man.
I think.
No,
I think overall Canelo obviously is a better fighter than Bivol, like Chip said. His style, stylistic wise. But when you match it up at 175, I think Bivol's a better style. He's better. I think he should have been picked to win against Canelo. He's a lot bigger. He's the champion at that weight division. He was undefeated. He's young in his prime. He's been fighting at 175 for a long time now. He has a long amateur history. So at 175, so in my mind I don't see it as, I see Canelo's, of course he's the best. My opinion, he's still the best. Number one pound at 160, 168. But 175 maybe it's not his weight. But I feel like there was a lot of things going on, obviously, in the Eddie Reynoso camp. Even they lost 2 trainers. I forgot their names. I have them on there.
Chocolatito's the guy that beat. Chocolatito's the one that beat him.
Exactly. So I think, and Chocolatito's a beast too, man. Jesse and Bam need to make that fight. Jesse Bam and Chocolatito, that's gonna be an amazing fight. Even Estrada. But I just think that overall, it was a bad matchup. And I think Kovalev and Bivol, you can't compare because Kovalev was already. He already got beat by Ward, and Ward, in my opinion, he beat him, obviously. But I think the first fight, and I'm not saying it because I'm a Canelo fan, I'm being honest. It was close, you know what I mean? But, it is what it is. He got dropped, too. Like, so I don't know.
I said like this, if they would have called it for Kovalev or Ward, I mean...
You're going either way. It's the same thing with Triple J and Canelo. I had Canelo, the first fight, I had a draw. I didn't have Canelo win the fight, the first fight. I had a draw. I, honest to God, hand on the Bible, I watched the fight about 4 or 5 times, no audio. I still have it a draw. I still give it a 6-6. I still give it a draw. In my opinion. And then the first fight, and the second fight, that's when I give it to Canelo because he backed him up with pressure. That's debatable, whatever. But these guys are all different. Bivol, I think he was very underrated. Nobody knew him. I think he's still freaking good. I think he beats a lot of fighters. Now let me ask you this: does Bivol beat David Benavidez at 175? Not 168.
Oh man. Like to be honest, man, I seen Benavidez fight twice. I did some for WMU, and I did some fight to be.
And see that kind of solidifies my point as far as like everybody says, "Oh, Canelo fights nothing but past their prime guys." Who is he supposed to fight? You just said you only saw David Benavidez fight twice. And everybody wants that fight to happen. So who is he supposed to fight?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I don't understand. Like that's why it's kind of like when people talk about Canelo, it's like you guys are
and that's why I say too, but he's the best in there, man. I gotta give it to him, man. And hey, I take my hat off for him taking chances, boy. I mean, you could be like Floyd or even like Julio Cesar Chavez and go 89-0 and never risk it. Well, what good is that gonna do you, man? Like we're not, because we're here. I just want to say, like, Canelo, I take my hat to him, man. I mean, he's taking chances.
I'll tell you this, man. I think, in my opinion, Canelo beats Bivol at 168. Personally, I think he beats him at 168.
I think he beats him at 75 too, boy. I think you hurt him.
I think he beats him at 175, but I think it's a close fight, and it could be one of those fights that turn into like the triple G's, the trilogies. I feel like it could be up and down.
I tell you this though, boy, and I tell you this: if Canelo would have stayed active, remember he said he got tired.
Yeah.
He said in the interview, he said there's reasons why he got tired. He just didn't want. He said, but no excuses.
No excuses.
He got tired, and I think if he would have stayed active the whole fight, I think he would have, already pulled it off.
Maybe.
But I mean, it was just. What was it unanimous or was it?
I think it was unanimous. I'm not sure.
It was close or no?
Oh no, I think there was one judge that had Canelo.
Right. Yeah. So
Split decision.
you just gotta learn to go back to that drawing board and learn from them. But to do what you do, man, like Canelo does is it's crazy, man. But anyways, like I said, to me, Joe Goosen is a better trainer. And like you said, man, for maybe just for Ryan, but there's something going on with Eddie and his group that's kind of like making it like debatable, man. Because like a couple years ago, Eddie was the best trainer in the world.
Yeah.
Everybody wanted to go his way.
Yeah.
Now it's kind of like okay, and someone like Joe, who I really don't know too much, is up there. Like but that's just my opinion, and
But Joe, right now, I feel like it's hard because I can't say anything. I can't say like who does Eddie have either because I can say, well, Joe, all he has is Ryan. You know what I mean? But and Canelo and Eddie had all these fighters. Now he just has Canelo and I think Cesar or whatever his name is. Julio Cesar Martinez or something like that. I think that's his name.
All three of those guys lost. That's what I'm saying, man. Something's going on there.
And Valdez.
And it's not because they're not good, man. They're great. All three of them are great.
But I gotta say for Valdez, he lost, but he lost to the guy who's undisputed now. So it's not like he lost to Joe Blow. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know. In my eyes, it's. Well, no, he's not undisputed. He lost to Shakur.
Yeah.
Nah, I got confused with Devin. He lost to Shakur. Shakur's just a freaking. I think Shakur beats everybody. I think Shakur beats everybody at 130, 135, 140, and even 130 if he wanted to. But
boring.
But he wins. Yeah. I don't like it either.
Guys. This is the second episode, Chale's Legacy Podcast. We're doing the best we can, man. So let us know what you think, feedback. This is my brother Isaiah, and next time we'll probably get Jacob on here, man. So
yeah, appreciate it.